Welcome to the Omnic Recap. I am D, and every Sunday we look back at what happened during the past week in Overwatch. I'm going to start with the little news we had this week, but there is something else I need to get off my chest about the whole Blizzard scandal. I understand that this has been tough for some people, and that you are not here to hear me speech, so I'll keep that for the end of the video. First, the news. On Thursday, a new experimental card was added to the game, containing a series of balancing changes for 6 heroes in total. Let's run over those changes. Doomfist's cooldown rate of his abilities now speeds up by 100% when he is in the air and using his ultimate. Genji's shuriken damage was increased, but the damage of his Dragon Blade was lowered to somewhat level that out. Moira's self-healing was increased while using Biotic Grasp. Soldier's pulse rifle damage was increased, but the healing power on his biotic field was lowered. Wrecking Ball's grappling hook will now be on cooldown when he respawns, which should help to counter that spin to win tactic. But it wasn't all bad news for the little critter. His adaptive shield cast time was reduced to 0 seconds, and the duration was extended with 2 seconds. On top of that, his mines will no longer stick to walls. That last one is getting some mixed reactions. On one end, people feel that it lowers his skill ceiling, but most players seem to be relieved that they will no longer have mines stuck in weird places. Yeah, not that place. Come on. The last hero that got tweaked was Roadhog. He will now grant 25% less ult charge to enemy players when getting shot. That feels like a first move towards that new tank or brawler class that they promised us for Overwatch 2. For more details on all of these changes, check the link in the description to the patch notes. What do you think about all these changes? Let me know in the comments. The deathmatch map I reported on last week has yet to be released on PTR. It might happen any day, but it is kinda hard to predict under the current circumstances. Next week is going to be the last week of the Summer Games, and in 2 weeks we're expecting to see a new legendary skin for the Overwatch League. But again, we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. Now, about that speech. Last week we talked about how I was extremely disappointed by the stuff that had been happening at Blizzard. As to be expected, more details on that debacle were released this week. Again, not surprised by any of it. But in this past week, the community also kind of showed their colors. On one end, I've seen a lot of support for the Blizzard employees and for the issue in general. On Wednesday, the employees at the main office in Irvine, California did a walkout. And all over the community, people joined in by logging out of the games, by not streaming them, by not making any content, just as I did. But sadly, not all of what I've seen has been as supportive. I am sticking with my standpoint from last week. Everyone should do what they feel they need to do right now. But, and this is critical, leave everyone else that same choice. Because that's where things went wrong this week. If you're shaming people, if you're harassing people for not making the same choices you made, or simply because they work at Blizzard, well, do they even need to finish this sentence? Because trust me, in the end, there is not one single right choice. Just as Blizzard as a whole is not the problem. There are bad individuals. There's lackluster management, faulty policies, and underperforming systems. And yeah, they need to be fixed. Not only at Blizzard, and not only in the gaming industry, everywhere. But to throw thousands of innocent employees under the bus is, in my opinion at least, not the way forward. Burning down a company is not fixing the problem. It is destroying the potential to heal and do better. Look, you do not cure cancer by killing the patient. You nurture, you heal, you work. And even if you think that the company is beyond redemption, do you think stuff like that will help current and future victims? Imagine you have a roach problem at your apartment. You love the place, you have some amazing memories, and all of your stuff is there. Your books, your comics, your collection of mutated squirrels. But those damn radioactive roaches. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4. Does it show? But anyways, you call an exterminator. He comes in, takes a look around, and tells you the only solution is to blow up the whole building. He escorts you outside, and bam, everything is gone. You lost everything, your neighbors lost everything, and those pigeons that were living on the roof are dead. But the next time you have roaches, would you report them? Would you risk to lose everything that you own, your friends, and those pigeons? Or would you just live with the roaches? We need to find a way to stop the radioactive roaches, so that the good parts, that everybody in that building can thrive. Yo, I know, it sounds like a weird analogy, but why do you think that some of these victims, not all of them, some, stayed silent and stuck with the company for such a long time? It's because they love the company, they love the projects they work on, and they love their co-workers like family. And if the ultimate price for them speaking up about all this bullshit is the risk of having the company being burned down to the ground, do you think it's going to be any easier for them to speak up? They should have the freedom and all of the room to speak up without the fear of repercussions. Anyways, this is what I'm doing. I'm showing my support for those employees that can behave like normal people. I hope they stay determined in their plan to push corporate management for change. That they use every tool available to get that done. That they can make Blizzard into the company we want it to be. And trust me, that is not an easy task. And again, it shows that there is no right choice, since there isn't that much I can do, except maybe one thing. Like I said last week, we need to take a hard look at ourselves and decide what kind of people and what kind of community we want to be, how we can set an example, and how we can listen to the people that are suffering, how we can basically remove those radioactive roaches in our own lives. Just remember, change takes time, but we can do this. Anyways, for now, that was it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Those damn radioactive roaches.